Okay, this is specifically a how-to for lapping valves, and this is a Dodge Neon single overhead cam, and I'm installing Dodge Magnum valve springs. So first you want to make sure you have a good seal between the valve and the seat of the valve on the head, and you use valve lapping compound. You can get it Napa or AutoZone or whatever, and you put it along the valve, and you also put it around the seat. And then first you can dip the stem into the oil. It'll just help it go slide down through the valve guide a little easier, because you don't want to be scraping anything up. Just gently have that slide down in there. I like to wipe this clean just so I can get a good grip for my lapping tool, which I'll show you in a second. Basically this is almost like you're kind of sanding the valve and the seat together, and that's what gives you the good seal. This is the valve lapping tool. It's like $5 from AutoZone, and just has it's a dowel with some plungers on it. And it suctions to the valve like so. And you're basically trying to hear for it to stop grinding and get smooth. And once it does get smooth, tap it, and it'll stir up the valve lapping compound again, and you can sand some more. And right now I'm doing the exhaust valves. Okay, so that's good. Make sure you take it off, and we're going to clean that valve lapping compound off with a clean cloth. Go for the valve and whip it off the seat. Okay. Now we're going to put the valve back in, and we're going to flip the head over. You can put a little more oil on there, it won't hurt. Slide it back in there. And you got to make sure you have your valve stem seal. It looks like this, and it's going to slide onto the other side, so we're going to flip the head over. Okay. So this basically slides right over, prevents oil from getting into your cylinder. Right down, push it, and it'll also hold that valve there for you. Now we're going to put the spring on. These are the Magnum Springs, and you'll notice it's a progressive rate spring. That's why the coils are wider on one part than the other. And you want to make sure the tighter end is down, so they should be installed like that. I'm going to put that on there. Next thing to go on is the retainer. And this is what the keepers will sit in, which I'll show you in a second. Retainer sits on top of that. I don't know how clear this will be, but these are your keepers, basically just little metal half circles, and they have a taper to them, and you want to make sure that the skinnier end is facing down, because the retainer is also tapered, and that's what makes it sit in there nicely. So to start out, go ahead and put one in. That'll just help you throughout the process. Alright, just put one off there. And I'm using a Craftsman valve spring compressor. They're about like $20 from AutoZone. You've also seen a lot of people take like the 1-inch metal pipe and make a tool out of it. something look like this, but it was a pain in the ass with how much it slides around when trying to install them, so I went and picked this up and it was a lot easier. But for the intake, I did have to grind it down a little bit so that it wouldn't rub on the sides of the head. And basically this pin is pushing against the other side of the valve, and this goes right over the top of the retainer. Slide that on. Go underneath, get it lined up on that valve. That to slide over the teeth. Okay. Just kind of watch. You just want to make sure that stem's lined up and start to compress it. It's basically a groove in the valve stem that you're trying to get that keeper to sit into. That one clipped in. Okay, then take your other one, put it on the other side. Remembering to keep that tapered side down so you're not installing them upside down. Okay, so now they're both in tight. They're into that groove. You want to slowly let it out. Okay. And then it should be seated nicely, but just to double check, I'm just going to throw a cloth over top of it with a 5/8 socket. Hit on that retainer a little bit, and just to make sure it is seated nicely and isn't going to pop out on us when we start the head. Start the engine, not start the head. Pretty much it.